Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. I am going live from my truck because I'm still having internet issues. If you've been following me at all on Instagram, you'll know that we're having a lot of issues, but our satellite internet device should be here tomorrow. I got excited thinking it was coming today, and I checked the FedEx tracking and it looks like tomorrow. So, anyways, I wanted to jump on because we had talked about um, me going live and answering some of the questions I've been getting in my DMs lately about becoming a virtual assistant or freelancer, work at home mom, online business owner, that kind of thing. I could teach you about a ton of stuff, but today I'm going to focus on freelancing online as a virtual assistant. So if you don't know me, I'm Amanda Davila. I am the creator of Corporate Rejects, and I help moms and women all over the world create an online freelance business so that they can work from home or anywhere. I'm currently here in Arizona, outside of a library, hanging out using the Wi-Fi since I've been having issues. But that's part of the beautiful thing about this business, like working online, you can do it from anywhere. So if you've been following me for the last few years, you'll know that we started out, we're living in Oregon, and I quit my nursing job and working as a freelancer online. And then we moved to Hawaii and lived there for a couple of years and worked from home from there. And now we are traveling full time in our RV around the United States. So you can absolutely come from anywhere and work virtually, and there's so many different options. I'm going to do my best to stay on track today. I have got a list of questions that you guys have been asking me in my DMs, so I'm going to get started with that. If you have any questions as I go, type them in the comments. I'm going to try to see them as I am going through this. I might wait till the end to answer them unless something really pops out. But then you'll always be able to come in and comment, and I will be keeping an eye on comments. If you're not already in my free Facebook group, the Corporate Reject Connection, definitely come request to join. It's a really good place to connect with me and other women who are doing the same thing as you or wanting to do the same thing as you. Okay, so the first question, how do I become a VA and make money from home? Very great question. To keep it really simple, because this person who asked wanted to know, literally, step by step, what do I do? Choose your services. That's the very first thing. What are you going to offer? Which I know brings up a whole lot of other questions of, well, what can I offer? I don't even know. I don't have any skills, blah, blah, blah. I get it because I was there. Remember, I was a nurse before I worked virtually with online businesses. So I get it. So I'm going to highly encourage you to download my free starter kit. I will drop that link here when I'm done chatting with you. And there's a free starter kit to extract everything from your brain. That sounds really weird and creepy when I say it like that, but it walks you through questions. You can print it out, write on it. It asks you questions to help you understand what types of skills you already have that you can use to work online, so you don't have to go back to school or get some big fancy expensive program to teach you how to do a specific skill. You can always do that down the road, as your freelance business evolves and your interests evolve. But right now, don't worry about any of that. Just figure out what you can do now, because most of you are like I was, where I just needed to make money. I started a travel blog first and I wanted to focus on that, but it doesn't make you money immediately, which is why I discovered virtual assisting, because I needed to make money right away so I could get out of my nursing job and be home with my son and travel and do what I wanted to do. So I don't want you to go and feel like, oh, I have to figure out all the stuff. I have to go back to school. No, you don't have to do any of that. Just go through the starter kit. It's free. I'm going to drop the link, and you're going to figure out, okay, I do have skills, because I didn't think I did either. So you do, I promise. So after you figure out what services you want to offer, you can start super basic. Most business owners, once you get in and start working with them and they see how awesome you are and how quickly you learn, how you are willing to jump in and learn anything, because that's the kind of attitude you need to have to really succeed. You need to be willing to figure stuff out and be a team player. Once you do, they're going to give you more tasks and hire you for more hours, more projects, that kind of thing. So once you have your services figured out, you want to build your packages and then figure out your pricing. It's that simple. Figure out your services, build your packages, and pricing. Get a free Canva account. You can start billing out a nice little PDF showing what you offer and how much you charge and how to get in contact with you. So usually the best way is to have an online calendar, that they can go and book a time with you to jump on a Zoom call and talk face to face. And that can be a little difficult if you work full time. Um, you just have to, update your calendar frequently. Some people don't do that. They just say email me, which can work absolutely. But as you know, with email, things can get lost in translation, and there can be a lot of back and forth. Like, does this time work? Does this time work? And that can get really frustrating. So I still recommend just get a free Acuity or Calendly link, um, account set up and put in it walks you through it. It's super easy, but put in your availability for calls. It doesn't have to be all day every day, especially if you're working or you're a working mom or you're a mom at home. Like, put in realistic times that work for you. And as long as you have a couple options each week, then you're gonna, have people, they'll make it work. They'll make it work. And if they don't, they'll email you and say, I really want to meet with you, and sometimes they'll give you their link too. And you can go on and find a date and time that works for you to jump on a call to discuss what they're needing and if you might be the right person to do that job. So, services, packages, pricing, a way for them to contact you. And then you just want to start sharing what you're doing with everyone, like literally everyone. And I didn't do this at first. I was so scared to tell people what I was doing because it just felt uncomfortable and I thought people were going to judge me. Now, like, I couldn't care less what people think. But back then I did, and I was scared and I didn't want people to know what I was doing because what if I failed, right? Like, anytime we're doing anything new, we have that feeling. Just like we don't tell the whole world that we're having a job interview because what if we don't get it? It's so embarrassing, right? Um, I understand the feeling. It's a legitimate feeling, but you really, really need to just put it out there. The only time I've seen anyone not put it out there is if they're working a regular job and they are worried about the wrong people seeing it. So I totally understand that feeling, and wanting to be sensitive if you're still working another job, especially if you have certain things in a contract or something. So I totally get it. If that's not going to work, it's not going to work. You're just going to have to either block anybody and everybody who potentially, you don't want to see that you are doing something on your own time, starting your own thing, or you're not going to be able to share it like publicly on social media. Then you're just going to have to start texting, calling, emailing your family and friends and saying, this is what I'm doing. Do you, whether they're a business owner or not, like, they know people who are business owners. Like, I've got so many referrals from just telling my family and friends what I'm doing. And some of my very first clients came from that way. So share it. However works for you in your life, share it. Tell people what you're doing. That's how you're going to start getting clients and getting your name out there. And then the other question, people ask is, how do I find clients in the online space? So besides posting it all over your social media and asking friends to share, a family to share it, that kind of thing, getting into Facebook groups where business owners hang out, like, that is the best way. That is how I found, besides my family and friend, like clients from family and friends, that's how I found all my first clients. And then as soon as I started getting those first clients, everything came from referrals because I was doing awesome work for business owners and they tell their friends. Business owners have other business owner friends. So I never had to pay for advertising to try to get clients. I always had a stream of them coming in. And when I was doing a lot of virtual assistant freelancing when I first started, I got so busy that I either had to turn people away or I smartly started hiring other contractors to subcontract work to so I could still help as many people as possible, but not have it all on my shoulders. So I know that's a lot. I was going to say focused, and that never works for me. So services, packages, pricing, start sharing it and just start doing stuff. You're going to learn so much just from starting your own freelance business and, making your own social media pages, starting making your own logo, that kind of stuff, which you don't have to do any of that to start. I like to because I wanted to have an online presence. I wanted to have a place to send people before I had my website built. And I wanted people to be able to put reviews on there for me. So I did start a social media account really early on, so people could share that for me. The next question was, I don't have any skills to offer businesses online. I talked about that a little bit already, but you don't. I mean, you don't. You do have plenty of services to offer online. And I would like you to download and print my free starter kit. It is going to help you figure that out. It's going to help you go through and figure out what skills. So, again, I was a nurse. And I had no beliefs that I could work online because I was a nurse. Like, I tell people this because it seems unbelievable, but I could barely use Facebook when I started. I had a Facebook account. I didn't use it. When I tried to, it was always a disaster. Yet I somehow went into figuring it out, building my own Facebook business page, and then started managing other people's Facebook accounts for them. Okay, so I had no belief I could do it. I literally did if I was trying to look for someone to look at their page, I would end up typing it into my what's on your mind section instead of the search bar, and then my page would be filled with people's names, totally telling on who I'm stalking, right? Like who I'm checking out. Like that's how ridiculous I was on Facebook. So, um, if I can do it with being in the medical industry my entire adult life, you can do it no matter what background you come from. Um, oh, what else was I going to say about that? Oh, I was going to say if getting into the Facebook groups with other business owners, so you can start meeting them and chatting with them and being helpful. Like that is the number one thing. How I started getting just people from nowhere, right? Just me being helpful. People would see besides the people I was talking to, they would see me posting and helping other people on posts, when they had questions, and then they would reach out to me because they saw me being helpful and they liked the way I helped somebody else. So get in those Facebook groups and be helpful. That's the number one thing. Next question was, what if people ask to see my work? I don't have an online portfolio. So yeah, when you're new, you're not going to have that, right? You're going to learn a lot just by creating your own freelance business and getting things set up. So whether you're making a logo or you are creating something to put on your Facebook business page, you're going to learn a lot of little things along the way, and you can use all of that in your portfolio. But honestly, just create a free Canva account, Canva, Canva. Create a free Canva account. Start making graphics for you, for a friend, for nobody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be for an actual business. People just need to see that you can create a nice graphic, right? Which I could not do in the beginning. I could make an okay graphic. My graphics were horrible, but I still got hired. And most people that run businesses have or use templates or had custom templates created. So a lot of times you're just putting in a graphic, putting in some text, proofing it, make sure it looks good, and you're posting it. So if you're doing social media management, or a lot of virtual assistants do this as part of their tasks too, it's that simple. And Canva has a ton of free templates. If the business owner doesn't have that, you can go in and use the free templates for your own stuff and start making things. So it really does not have to be this big, scary thing. Just get in there and start doing stuff. And you can add that to your portfolio. Speaking of portfolios, I have a free portfolio template that I will drop the link for as well. So you can start building your own portfolio with that template. It makes it super easy. And you can put everything together. You can have your portfolio showing some of your work along with your prices and packaging and everything and how to reach you. Nice PDF you can send to people when they request it. You can give it to your family and friends so they can share it with people they know. It really, really can be very, very simple. I know the first step is the hardest. Getting started is so hard. And I didn't for a long time. I learned about what a virtual assistant was, and I was like, that sounds pretty cool. But I didn't start for a long time until I started reaching out and getting the support I needed because of my belief system. I didn't believe I could do it. I didn't believe it. I had to get help, but I knew that was what I could do, right? I knew that if I could find a way to legitimately make money online without having to sell anything, without having to be part of an MLM, without having to be part of someone else's thing, I could do it myself. And that is what I wanted. And so I knew that if I wanted to have the freedom, if I wanted to leave my nursing job, I wanted to travel, I wanted to build my travel blog, all of that, I needed to make money. And this is the way that I found that worked. It's not always easy. Yes, it's simple. It's not always easy. There's going to be moments that it can be terrifying. Absolutely. Anything you do new is. But I honestly cannot imagine going to a regular job interview. getting dressed up. I don't even own like dress up clothes anymore, but getting all dressed up professional and going into a building of all these people staring at you and going to a job interview, like, of course I could do it if I had to, but I don't want to. And I can't imagine doing that. Like, it's such a different experience and vibe, like doing it in the online space. Yet you've been preparing for it your whole life, right? Like, you've done this, you've had interviews. So a discovery call is the same thing as like going to an interview, but it's different. It's different in the way that you are more in control. So instead of going and like sitting there and just like staring, like do do do, like tell me, like, ask me questions, I'm just gonna sit here. Like, you're gonna go in with an agenda. Like, you're gonna go into this call with these potential clients and you're asking them questions. Like, you want to know what they need and what their budget is, and if they legitimately are ready to hire someone and willing to pay someone to do the job. And you're coming in as the expert, even if you don't feel like it in the beginning. You're coming in as a person like, yes, I can offer you these services. And you're going to send them a proposal and you're going to say, this is what I can do, this is what it's going to cost, this is when I can start. Sign on the dotted line. Right? Like, it's a totally different vibe. So you know what to do, and with some guidance you can know for sure what to do. It's still going to be scary because it's new. There's just no way around it, but I have to say it's worth it. So in 2017 I quit my traditional nursing job, and I've worked from home since then. I did a little bit of remote nursing for a while I was building my virtual assistant business, and now I just fully freelance. I don't work at or for anyone. I freelance, and it's amazing. I've been able to travel. I've moved from the mainland to Hawaii and back, and now we're traveling full time. And I'm making money from my laptop right now. It's not ideal with not having internet, but hey, I made it work, right? Public libraries, free Wi-Fi, sitting here talking to you now. There's so many ways to make it work. Okay, let me get back on track to these questions. Sorry, the lighting kind of sucks. It helps a little bit when I get closer. How much do I charge? So depending on where you live in the world, that's going to depend, and what kind of services you're offering. And of course, in the beginning, it's going to depend a lot on your confidence level. A lot of people I see undercharge because they don't feel like they're worthy of charging more. Seems to be one of those things that we all have to experience. And something I teach people is to choose a price that is fair for the location, the services, a lot of things like that. But you have to have that belief in yourself that you are worth it. So as a brand new VA, I'm not going to say go start charging $60 an hour to do basic VA tasks. Most VAs in the US start somewhere between $15 and $20 an hour and then go up from there. I started at $20 an hour as a brand new VA, and I've always charged that or more. I've never gone lower than that. I do know some VAs in certain parts of even the US that started a little bit lower, especially if they were working with more local clients because the minimum wage was a lot lower. In Oregon, it's like $15 an hour. Hawaii was, I think, something like that too. So no one batted an eye, right? But if you're in certain parts of the country, or some other countries, there's going to be some business owners that will not even understand if you're trying to charge that much for very basic tasks, because if their minimum wage is $7 an hour and you're trying to charge 20, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean your value has gone down. It's just that area and what they're used to paying. So that's a whole other thing. I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but again, generally in the US, VAs start between $15 and $20 an hour and go up from there. I was going to also tell you, sorry, kind of scatter, but another way to build your portfolio and your confidence is to find someone to trade services with. So if you go into my free Facebook group, the Corporate Reject Connection, you can make a post in there and try to find someone to exchange services with, or do a simple project graphic or something for a testimonial. That is a really, really good way to start. So if you're really comfortable doing graphics, you can offer to do a free logo for somebody in exchange for a testimonial, and you can use it in your portfolio, that kind of thing. So whatever it is that you're wanting to learn or get experience doing to be able to put in your portfolio, you're going to be able to find a business owner or another freelancer who is looking for that and can use some help in exchange for a testimonial. So um, definitely think about that as you're building your portfolio. Um, but yeah, any questions you have, any specific questions, bring them to my group. If you have the question, someone else does too. You can also go through and search through my group. I have a ton of blogs on my original business page, a website, and my podcast. There's a lot of information out there that you could check out to learn more and get more information. So that website is davillasolutions.com. Again, I will put that link in here. My podcast is Corporate Rejects, available on all of the podcast locations. You can also go to my website and click to get to it from there. And then the other question that I get a lot is, why do you share all of this? Like, I sometimes spend a lot of time chatting with people in DMs, and they're kind of like, well, why are you doing this? Like, what's in this for you? So the reason that I share all of this is, much as, I didn't grow up in an era of sharing online. Like, we didn't have Facebook when I was growing up. It's not natural to me to be on the video and talking to people about all of this stuff and personal stuff. But what it comes down to is, I want every mom to know that she has options, that she has the freedom to create the life she desires. And I know that can sound so cliche, but like, seriously, I didn't have the beliefs just a few years ago, and my beliefs are constantly evolving and growing. I still run into the same issues, right? Like, just because you do one thing or you achieve one level of success and then another one, it doesn't mean those feelings just go away, because you're always doing something new and those feelings are coming back. So I know that it can be really scary, and it can feel like, oh, like, she can do it, she has all this freedom. But you can too. Like, if you stay at home with your kids, or you're working from for someone else and you're a parent, so you're always doing something, right? Like, parenting is the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, freelancing is nothing compared to parenting, but being a work at home mom, a stay at home mom, a working mom outside of the home, like, all of them come with challenges. For me though, working from home or from anywhere, it's just different. Like, it's a whole different level. Like, yes, it's a whole level of crazy, but it's like, I cannot imagine going back to working like an 8 to 5 job. Like, I cannot imagine going back to working a job where I have to leave for 8, 10, 12 plus hours a day and be away from my home and family. Like, I can't. Like, yes, you're gonna have struggles as an online freelancer, but they're just different in comparison to what your struggles are now. So you can work from home, you can travel, you can do whatever you want. If you really want it, then you just have to take that first step of deciding, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to find the resources and support I need to make it happen. And that's what I offer. I want to give that option to everybody, but specifically, I focus on moms because that's where I'm at in my life. I'm a working mom, but I work from home or anywhere, like my truck. So anyways, you don't have to sacrifice your mind, body, and soul just to make an income so your family can survive. You don't have to agree to do things you don't believe in. You can work for businesses, for people that you actually like, doing things that actually light you up. Or even if they don't light you up, sometimes, stuff gets mundane. You can always change, right? Like, regardless, I'd rather be doing mundane stuff online than doing mundane stuff in an office away from my family, having to dress up a certain way, look a certain way, always be on and smiley. Like, I don't want to be like that. It's not me. So anyways, drop any questions or comments you have. DM me if you want your questions to remain anonymous. Sometimes I'll bring the question and talk about it, like in my Facebook group. But if you want it to be anonymous, just DM it to me. I'm not going to say who asked the question. I'll drop those links I talked about so you can grab those resources. All right. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.